にちは、皆さん。I'm Great Oka United Empire。今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるってよ。みんな、ブローキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables Podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas. This is episode number 43, and I am here with my co-host, Rome, the Broken Predictions champion, holding up his championship belt there. And we are also here with our special guest tonight, Forrest. How you guys doing?
I'm doing excellent.
I was doing fantastic till I saw the heel sunglasses.
You know, well, I really have to give it to you, Forrest. You know, you're definitely trying to make it seem like you really want this. I'm a little impressed. You're here. What is this? The third show this in the past month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I will be a fighting champion. I'll be here.
There we go.
Oh, really? Well, you know, at least it's nice to see that you're trying.
It's gonna be the summer of Forest.
All right, well, thank you both for joining, and thank you everybody in the YouTube chat for joining as well. We got Avogado, we got Big T already here, and Miyaja. Welcome, you guys. Thank you very much. This was an excellent episode of Dynamite, considering all the recent losses we have had with injuries and, you know, you name it. This was an awesome episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, I think the in-ring action was awesome. I have some issues with the overall show, but I mean, we'll get into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was definitely some stuff, as Rome just said, but it was okay. It was a very good professional wrestling show if you like technical wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was a really good technical wrestling show.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I thought it was a really good show in terms of the matches. I mean, there was good storytelling tonight, too. Again, we'll get into it. I don't want to kind of talk about everything all at once, but there was definitely, I would not say it's an excellent episode of Dynamite, but it was a very strong episode of Dynamite. If you love pro wrestling, this was a really good in-ring show for you.
Yeah, that was the best way, I think, to put it. It was a very strong episode of Dynamite, considering, yeah. What's up, Joseph, Juhas, and Juan? Welcome, guys. Yeah, I mean, Juhas made a good point. The roster is major players. You know, Punk and Daniels and Omega are the megastars. O'Reilly and Mox definitely pulled their weight. I think everybody pulled their weight tonight, except for one person in particular, but we'll get to that one. Let's go ahead and get started up with this Casino Battle Royale. You know, normally in these Casino Battle Royales, the Joker is some sort of a surprise, not necessarily a signing, I guess, but, you know, I was expecting a little bit more of a surprise than what we got, but we got Andrade. It was a surprise. He's returned from marrying Charlotte Flair. I loved this match. You know, before they started this match, I know, Rome, I was telling you, I don't like the matches with 20 plus people in them. But I think the way they staggered it 5 people at a time, it felt like it worked. It flowed really nicely. I was able to keep track of everybody who got eliminated and when they came in and who eliminated them. You know, I think they did a really good job tonight in this of not making it too chaotic. You know, like I said, I was able to tell who got eliminated in order by who. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like the Casino Battle Royale match style. I think it's a very enjoyable battle royale. It's definitely more enjoyable than a straight up battle royale. It just is. Yeah. That being said, I did not think that this match warranted being a Casino Battle Royale. I think that in the end, it hurt the match more than it helped it. I like Andrade, but man, that fell so flat for me. Like, I didn't even need it to be like a crazy debut or anything, but again, when it's the Joker, it's usually a debut or a return, but a really hot return.
Yeah.
Andrade hadn't been gone for too long. They make it seem like Andrade was gone for like months. He was only gone for a few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like I like this kind of match more than a regular battle royal, but I definitely the ending really really kind of left me feeling really flat. I'm just like,
Yeah.
including
For
the
at least
winner.
for the entrances. Um, the I think personally, I think the story would be very different, and I know it's because timing didn't work out. If Miro came back as the Joker,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
that
awesome.
would have been massive pop, and also it tells the story, and then he gets to dominate everybody. So what? He doesn't win. He makes it to the final four. Boom, gets popped by the three dudes, and then whatever. But no, I liked it. But as it got closer and closer to the final four, I was like, whoa, where are they going with this?
Yeah. Now there was a couple of eliminations here that seem to they're going to progress some sort of storylines here. Keith Lee was actually eliminated by Swerve. That was a big shocker to me. My jaw was in my lap. I was like mouth open, just like, what did I just see? Swerve looked at him and kind of shrugged his shoulders and pointed at the belt, which, makes sense. But, man, that was a little early for me. They should have teamed up a little bit. It should have been, him and Swerve versus Hobbs and Starks a little bit in there. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, Juan in the chat kind of hit, I kind of agree with him about one of my favorite spots of the match was the spot where Andrade gave Rey Fenix what I would call a high-low blow.
Yeah, the Hadouken.
While he was in the air.
Yeah.
That was an awesome spot. I really love that spot.
To Jeff's point, with the Swerve Strickland, everyone he partnered up with, and I'm using air quotes here, he then eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, because
even Darby, he was like, "No, Darby,
well.
me and you, we got this." And then like they start doing it, and then it's like he was kind of playing that character that's the baby face, but the stupid baby face that keeps just eliminating everybody, even if that person's on your side.
Yeah.
And there's always that one guy in every kind of Royal Rumble Battle Royal that does that. And it was just it seemed weird. He just like, I guess because he swerved, that was the justification.
Yeah.
But it was just like damn, dude, you're gonna have no friends by the end of this match.
Yeah, and he definitely. It looked to me like he went heel. Do you guys think he went heel?
I don't know. Well, Chase in the chat saying that Swerve tweeted out dead weight.
Oh, that's heel. That's definitely heel to me.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens moving forward. There was some other storylines that kind of came out of this match. Takesh, though, on Twitter tweeted out about how Starks and Hobbs were double teaming him, and that's why he lost tonight. He implied that he could be getting some help to deal with them, which
nice.
Forbidden Door.
Let's go.
Ooh, that'd be a good match. I would like that tag. I don't care who he gets. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, so this was a great match, but there was just a lot of decision booking issues with it. Number one, we talked about last Friday when we were reacting to the CM Punk injury, how we wanted this battle royale to go out, and we were talking about how it just needs to be top stars. It should be a very serious battle royale. And as the weekend went on and the week started, I kind of softened on that a little bit, because I was like, oh yeah, why shouldn't guys like Max Caster be in this battle royal? They're not top guys right now, but in a few years they're going to be. But man, I just didn't like the booking of this. Some of the eliminations that went early should not have gone as early as they did. Some of the eliminations that went as late as they did shouldn't have gone as late as they did. I like Kyle O'Reilly a lot, and it was a really good match in the main event, which we'll get to. But the second Kyle O'Reilly wins that battle royal, I'm like, Mox is winning tonight.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no doubt in my mind, and I really don't like that. There's times where it makes sense to oh, I know how this is gonna go down, and that's fine. But for me, this battle royale was not that moment to do that. I mean, there were plenty of guys you could have went with who were in the match. There was plenty of guys who weren't in the match that was left kind of really confused about. I don't know where Jericho was. I mean, I don't know. There was a few guys like looking over it. Like I would have put Malachi Black in there. Like I understand he had to be in the next segment. Maybe that's why they don't do it. But there was a lot of guys that were not in this battle royale that absolutely should have.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle O'Reilly going over really sucked the air out of the whole show for me. Like I was still watching it, and it was still a really good show. But for me, that was just like, I don't even know. Like main event's just really predictable now.
No, I agree. Yep.
Yeah, I'll get into this when we talk about the main event, but I agree with you to a point, but I'll get into it more at the main event.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I really, really feel like Eddie should have been the one to win this. A match between Eddie Kingston and Moxley would have been incredible for the end of this, which, don't get me wrong, the O'Reilly match was great as well, but the story behind it, they've been friends. You know, we've seen them tag up. You know, they drove a truck into the Kenny Omega's trailer with him and the Elite. You know what I mean? Like, they got past. You know, I feel like that would have been nice. No, I don't. Yeah, Wheeler Yuta would have been pretty decent as well.
Yep, that was my
considering
pick.
You know, him and Mox are both in Blackpool Combat Club, and I like what Regal said. You know, later on, you know, if that would have happened, Mox would have shown him what it takes to, you know, be at that level. But, you know, O'Reilly wins. The crowd had little to no reaction for it. They were just kind of like, oh, okay. But yeah, so Kyle O'Reilly wins the Battle Royale. If you didn't catch it, Andrade was the Joker. Nobody, you know, not a big spectacular return or any signings or anything.
So I thought it was really interesting, and I after watching the Battle Royal, I noticed that, like, man, Kyle O'Reilly's on a bit of a tear right now.
Yeah, he's really good.
He beat Darby at the pay-per-view clean. He won this Battle Royal. You know, he's been winning a lot of singles matches, and that really kind of surprises me because, you know, he's just kind of part of the Elite right now. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But again, like trying to look at it from a positive perspective, like they're making stars, you know, whether the booking necessarily makes sense or not. I mean, like you kind of have to give Kyle O'Reilly like that benefit of the doubt moving forward, where like he's elevated. He beat Darby clean. He won this Battle Royal. You know, he beat who did he beat in the Owen tournament leading up to the finals? He beat Ray Phoenix. He's winning really high profile singles matches, and I think it's great for him. I was super disappointed when Yuta got eliminated, and I also think that, again, looking from this from a positive perspective, I thought that Yuta, the fact that like he was super over tonight.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, that guy's been off TV over in Japan fighting. You know, he's been off TV for about a month or so, maybe a little bit less, and he's here. And like when Andrade got eliminated, I was texting Forrest, and I was like, oh shit. Like, oh my god, Yuta's gonna win this, and they're gonna like. I didn't think Yuta was going to beat Mox, but I was like, man, like that's a match I would like to see again.
Yeah.
And like that, I would have given it to Yuta at that point. If you're gonna make a guy out of this Battle Royal, I would have had Yuta win. But you know,
yeah, him already.
Like, I mentioned this to Rome. I was like, this is, yes, if Yuta wins, we know if Yuta wins the Royal, we know he's not going to win the title. However, it's that like little thing in the back of your head. You're like, oh, is this gonna finally be the one where he gets over on Mox? Is this gonna? It's that little seed was there, but with Riley, there wasn't that connection or that seed yet. However, when you're pointing out how much and how high the profile matches he's been winning, he's also a former NXT champion. He was just kind of, left there when Cole came over and everybody came over.
Yeah.
So he does have the caliber. He's also like crazy technical, and also like the what was it? ROH days. So,
Yeah, for sure, man. And like you said, Kyle O'Reilly winning, I immediately looked over at the wife and I was like, well, we're going to see Jon Moxley at Forbidden Door, you know what I mean? Like, now, granted, that didn't bother me as much as I think it may have you, just because I think I've already known it was going to be Moxley. Like, the moment that Punk went out, I already knew that this was going to be Moxley. It's the only thing that makes sense to go up against Tanahashi, if that's who he winds up facing. they tried to throw another match over on the NJPW side to throw us off, but it's going to be Mox and Tanahashi. They've actually built for that match for quite a long time. Kind of funny, Tanahashi is basically NJPW's John Cena. Like, he used to be their massive, huge guy. Now he's older, but he comes back here and there, and, you know, I saw him live here in Philly. He was still amazing, so that's going to be an incredible match, if that's what it turns out being.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not like super upset about Moxley winning the interim championship. I mean, to me, that tells, if anything, that tells me that they're not expecting Punk to be out for too long.
No, yeah.
Because I feel like they're giving this title to a guy that they were already planning on Punk facing and probably beating down the road. And they want to give it to a top guy. This is not going to be a long... I mean, again, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a doctor. I don't know about the situation. Apart from the fact that they announced that Punk got his surgery today and the doctors are really happy with how it went, that it went extremely well, which is awesome news. But to me, this just kind of says, like, maybe Punk will be back even by, like, All Out. Like, that's kind of where my expectations at. I mean, again, maybe it's not well-founded. Maybe I get disappointed, but maybe they just need a guy to kind of hold the belt for the summer, you know?
Yeah.
And that makes me understand them just giving it to Mox because, you know, and we'll get into it when we talk about Wardlow's promo today, but I think that, like, it was a great point made by Wardlow today about why he wasn't in the Battle Royal. And yeah,
that was cool.
You know, I think Mox is going to obviously be great. I mean, he's a top 5 talent in the company in terms of star power. He's, you know, he was the guy before, and he'll do just fine here. And I'm sure he's going to have an awesome match with Tanahashi at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't Tanahashi the person? Did he call out Naito or Tanahashi? He did. It was like maybe a year ago. He's like, I want this person.
I think he said Naito. That was back when he was feuding with. I think he was feuding with him.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, he called somebody out, and I was like,
yeah, I think that was Naito. I could be wrong. Somebody in chat could probably correct us, but I do believe it was.
Okay.
Up next here was a great promo by Moxley as soon as we saw who he was going to be facing tonight. I just loved how he was like, you know, this championship is mine. This entire sport is mine. You know, it belongs to me. And then he was like, love you, Mom, and walked away. That was great, man. I loved it.
Yeah, it was an excellent promo. Again, we don't have anything to worry about with Mox. It's a solid pick. It's not a star-making type of move. But again, like if the guy's just gonna lose to Punk when Punk comes back, which, let's be real, like Moxley's going to do the job for Punk when Punk's ready to come back. Like that's the way it is. So again, I think Tony Khan kind of had to proactively book who was going to win the championship. It needs to be somebody that they want to lose to Punk at that point. So, you know, it was a great promo, and Mox is awesome.
Yeah, also, I think there's like, wasn't there a match right before Mox went to rehab or something, or a tournament that would have had him end up fighting CM Punk or something, and then that match didn't happen again? It's just like every time they try to fight, something happens.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's definitely, and there's history there too. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, they announced a brand new championship for AEW, the All Atlantic Championship. Oh my God, this belt is absolutely gorgeous. This might be my favorite belt in all of wrestling right now. I was like speechless when they had it up on the screen. That thing is just absolutely gorgeous.
Dude, I'm so excited for this because number one, I agree with you. It's a beautiful championship.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is their Intercontinental title.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And now keep in mind, there was a time where that title meant something. It doesn't mean anything anymore, but there was a time where that was a very prestigious championship. And I am so excited for this title. Like, I'm excited for the title. I'm excited for the possibilities. I actually could see this as being kind of like how the TNT title is like the TV title. I could see this being like a kind of championship where, like, you know, maybe that champ has obligations to kind of travel a little bit, maybe do some matches, you know, out of this country and across the world. Like, maybe whoever wins at Forbidden Door, maybe they go and they defend it in New Japan the same way that New Japan defends their United States Championship, you know, on Dynamite sometimes.
Yeah.
Big T in the chat. All hail rebirth of the European Championship.
Yeah, I was gonna say it fits the European a little bit more because they kept mentioning how they're the top audience in the UK, so I feel like it might fit that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
but sorry.
I think it's going to be defended even at Rev Pro. You could see it being defended.
Oh wow.
You know.
Yeah, so like for me, I don't know because I think the European title, like that title's gimmick was mostly they brought it out because WWE started doing touring in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, and that title was kind of like the title for those UK shows.
Yeah.
Which is why it didn't last very long, and that's why I think the Intercontinental title is kind of a better idea.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking about how this title is technically starting with like kind of a tournament that leads to a 4-way dance at Forbidden Door. And it made me think of the story of the Intercontinental title and how the title was created. It was won in a fictional tournament by Pat Patterson in Puerto Rico. This tournament never took place. But Pat Patterson, for years, the kayfabe was, oh yeah, Pat went over to this fucking crazy exclusive tournament and like he won it. And I love that. I love that story. Good. The tournament never happened though. They just gave him a belt. Like, hey Pat, here's the belt. But no, I mean, I think it's a cool little thing that they're just kind of starting this off with like kind of a tournament thing. And yeah, like this is awesome. This is just absolutely excellent. We have some great matches. I actually took the card down. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, man. Big T says I'm not too big into replicas, but might need to pick up a Paperboy route. Yeah, dude, that thing is unreal looking. I'm gonna hit my belt maker up and be like, yo, when are you coming out with that one?
Yeah, I agree with Juan in the chat. William Regal should present that to the winner. That would be really cool.
Yes.
So anyway, so here is the 4 matches that will be leading, well, 3 matches leading into the 4-way match at Forbidden Door for the All Atlantic Championship, which I also love the name, by the way.
Yeah.
So we had Buddy Matthews versus Pock tonight, which we'll talk about in a second. Next week we're going to have Ethan Page representing Canada versus Miro representing Bulgaria. We're going to have at some point in the near future Penta Oscuro representing Mexico and Malachi Black representing what I believe is Norway, correct?
I believe he's Netherlands.
Netherlands. Sorry, I knew it was one of the two. And then the 4th man in the 4-way dance will be a representative from New Japan Pro Wrestling who has yet to be announced.
Oh, I love the way they're putting the flags next to their names and showing how they represent a country. Like, it's a really big part of, soccer/football, wherever you may be from. It's a big part of the sports world outside of the U.S. I enjoy that a lot. I like that they put their flags next to them and they're making it like a country thing. It's great.
Big T's asking how many flags were on it. Well,
there are
6?
2 of them, I believe.
No, it's 4.
Was there 4?
In terms of the belt itself, there's 4, I believe, or 6. It's one of the 2.
Let me look. I have all the pictures of the belt on my phone here.
Please do. The great thing about this 4-way dance that we're going to get at the pay-per-view is this is clearly a match that Forrest is going to wrongfully predict in the prediction show.
There are 6.
Oh, look who just got that right.
They're in the prediction. In the prediction, there are certain picks that are just gimmies. They're gimmies. And Forrest is the king of the gimmies. But when it comes to like this kind of match where you have so many choices, he's not going to make the right choice. He's not. I'm going to be sitting here on the prediction show trying not to laugh at the guy. He's probably going to pick someone who's not even in the match.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're going to have the cards, but okay.
All right, so real quick, going from left to right, the flags that are on this belt, we have Mexico, China, the United Kingdom. I believe that's Great Britain's flag. Sorry if I offended anyone with that one. The United States, Canada, and Japan. So that is our 6 flags on the belt.
Nice.
Let's see, Big T in the chat. He likes Juan's idea of having Regal. He was thinking, what if they had a legend from each representative country that's on the belt awarded to the winner of the tournament? That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Juan in the chat also said that he thought Cesaro would have been a good Joker representing Switzerland if he was coming to AEW after all.
Yeah. I mean, he could go through New Japan.
Part of me has this feeling in my gut that Cesaro is going to end up back in the Fed.
Yeah, he's going back.
Yeah, he's going back to the Fed. I think they're especially with Cody out for a while. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like they need baby faces bad.
Yeah.
They had to turn Edge.
Are we gonna
had to-
talk about that?
Sure, let's do a Fed blunder of the week.
House of
everybody.
Purple.
House of
Let's go.
Purple. So here's the thing, right? I'm gonna explain this to Jeff, longtime, current Fed diehard, Fed fanboy, if you would, and he can explain this better to me. So, at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, or I'm sorry, premium live event that happened, that we had a stream about, that Jeff watched the whole show because he's a fan. I came in at the end just because I'm not a fan. It is what it is. At the show, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan defeated. No, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Judgment Day defeated them, correct, Jeffrey?
Yes, so Edge actually pinned Balor clean.
Yes. And then the next night on Raw, they say that they're going to have a new member of the Judgment Day, and it's Finn Balor. And Finn Balor comes out, and they're like, "Yep, and we're going to get rid of some baggage here."
Up to that point made sense, okay? The guy who got pinned last night wants to join the crew of the dudes who pinned him, right? Makes sense. Okay.
I would argue that still doesn't make sense, but go ahead.
No, I would say keep going. I'm just kind of making little points as you're going along.
I understand. Well, I would say it doesn't make sense because why would they want to recruit the guy that they beat the shit out of the night prior? But okay. So,
He was
they
wasting
do
his
that.
time in the wannabe Bullet Club.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they do this thing where they turn on Edge, the guy that pinned Finn Balor, and like Finn Balor becomes their leader, even though Edge beat Finn clean the night before.
If there has ever been anything I saw that made zero sense to me, that was it. And then
I've seen things that make less sense in the Fed, but that's just still.
And then the people on Twitter that are like, "Oh my God, this was so unexpected," and I'm like, "Do you know why it was unexpected? Because it was fucking stupid."
Yeah, it was.
It was almost as if they panicked.
Yeah, but then it turns out that I don't even think it had anything to do with Cody. It turns out they wanted to add magical fucking bullshit to the crew, and Edge was like, "No," and they were like, "Okay, well then you're out." It's just like. That was his creation. I can almost guarantee you that 99% of that, the Judgment Day, was Edge's creation from his brain. And they're just like, all right, well, you're out of it then.
Yeah, and I feel like they're gonna, because they put Finn in, Finn has the demon. The demon's the real leader, not Finn.
Yeah, Juan. That's even another reason that they should not have wanted to do any of the magical shit. Jericho's already doing the wizard stuff. You don't want to copy them and make it obvious. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think the problem is WWE tries to go they try to redo that the spooky stuff, like the Undertaker, Bray Wyatt stuff. But the problem is that they constantly don't handle it well.
No.
So it's like me personally, I'm a fan of when some the pro wrestling characters that do more of that type of stuff. I love Malachi Black in the House of Black. Obviously, I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. Grew up as a huge Undertaker fan. I do enjoy kind of the darker tones of these characters and the spirit, the supernatural when they add them in. It's pro wrestling. It's fun, man. But they just don't do it well. They just don't. And whenever it's done well, they ruin it.
When they give spooky stuff to their writing staff, it never goes well. The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, they had handles on their own stuff to a point, where they made it good. Once they kind of took the freedom from them, that's when we all know how it went downhill. So
Big T saying that WWE Logic is a psychiatrist's wet dream. I would argue that it's more like a psychiatrist's
nightmare.
Yeah. It's their nightmare.
They'd be like,
I understand what he's saying.
WWE.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying, but I think he means more so of a nightmare.
He's getting paid.
Just wants to touch that.
That psychiatrist is getting paid, I'll tell you that much, but
money
by the hour.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on track here. Next up was the first match in the All Atlantic Championship tournament. We had Buddy Matthews versus Pock. Holy shit, this match was amazing. It was, we knew from the moment it was going to start, this was going to be fantastic. These two guys are incredible. The only thing I could keep thinking to myself, I must have said it to myself 10 times. I was like, how did they let both of these guys go?
We ask ourselves this question on a weekly basis.
weekly basis,
on a multiple times a week. We ask ourselves. Some nights I wake up in a cold sweat, shoot up. The wife's like, "Are you all right? What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know how Swerve and Keith Lee and Buddy Matthews and Pack and then I keep going. Next thing I know, it's 6 a.m. and she just wants to go back to bed. I'm just like,
She's already sleeping and you're still going.
yeah. Juan saying the Ministry of Darkness was arguably the worst part of Undertaker's career. I mean, yeah, but I don't think it was necessarily bad. I mean, I thought the Undertaker generally did good stuff. I mean, you know what? No, the end of his run was the worst part of his career. The last like 3 years of his career, from when he lost to Brock and on, was the worst part of his career.
Yeah. I thought the Ministry was decent until it was me, Austin. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, we should have seen it coming at that point.
Yeah.
that was the point we should have been like, wait a second.
Wait a minute. Vince.
Something's not right here.
But yeah, so I don't know if you guys caught it. There was a sign in the audience that said "Free MJF." I liked that one. That was pretty good.
I saw.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know.
So I saw the opposite of that. It was Maxwell Jacob fired man.
I saw that too.
That's a good one.
I did. That was great. But so something I really liked about leading into this match and the end of this match was kind of how like the House of Black like came out with him with Buddy Matthews, and then like he went to the ring and they kind of dispersed. And I also really loved how the two teams kind of came at the end to check on their guys.
Yeah.
And like that was really cool. Just the look that Malachi Black. I know we're not done with this match yet, but man, the look that Malachi gave Penta, I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be such a good match.
Oh yeah, and you know. Just a great match. We had huge fight forever chants. That's a big deal. When you get those fight forever chants, man, you know your audience is loving what's going on in front of them. Pac wins via the Black Arrow after a crazy back and forth, you know. This is one of my favorite finishing moves in wrestling. Every time he jumps and starts the flippity twist, I'm just like, oh God, because it's easy to mess that thing up and hurt someone or hurt yourself, man. But he makes it look incredible every time.
Yeah, it was an excellent match. I love this match.
Yeah, and that finish is beautiful, as you were saying. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and like you said, Penta comes out, you know, to check on Pac. You know, they come to hug him and Phoenix. And the House of Black comes out to check on Buddy. Now, the way that they walked up to him at first with Buddy made it look like they were like disappointed, but then, you know, they just kind of leaned down and gave him a pat on the back. So I'm not sure if they were teasing anything there. It was just very, very slight, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think they were teasing anything. Again, it was just kind of like Brody was there to check on Buddy, and Malachi's more so focused on the faction that his underling couldn't defeat.
Yeah.
Love Julia too. Julia looked great. Big T in the chat kind of basically summed up spooky stuff in WWE over the last 20 years. Lights on, lights off, red lights, purple lights, fog, smoke, fire, standing behind you, coming up through the apron, some sort of slime falling from the skies, pumpkins and zombies.
Dude, that brings up something that I've been wanting to mention for a long time, but I always forget about it, is the new blood in the WWE falling from the sky is black. They're like, oh, the black blood, and I'm like, no.
Who does that?
Like they can't use red blood anymore because of the whole PG-13, so they just changed it to black goo, and they're like, oh, the black goo or the black blood, and I'm like, come on. Kids are not that stupid. Like,
yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Yep. So next up, we had a Eddie promo on Hager and Garcia, and basically the entire Jericho Appreciation Society. He was really pissed off that Hager cost him his championship opportunity tonight. So was I, actually. I really wanted Eddie to be the one to go up against Mox, but, you know, it is what it is. I loved how Eddie was breaking the fourth wall here, or if that's what we should call it in wrestling. I'm not sure what we call it here, but...
You just shoot.
Just shoot. And he was like, don't count me down. He was pointing to the guy that kind of gives him the timekeeping, and, you know, I actually really liked that. I thought it was a cool little, you know, wall break. It gives us a little insight to what goes on while they're doing their promos. I thought it was cool.
I learned tonight.
Right?
I learned what the C shape means. It means 30 seconds. I learned that.
The C shape 30 seconds. Okay, I
It's
get
like
it.
when he gives me the C shape. Yes, I know I have 30 seconds left.
Yeah, no, I love this type of stuff. This is my jam when we get kind of meta. But yeah, no, this is an awesome promo, and you know, Eddie Kingston's just one of the best promos in pro wrestling. Um, uh, Big T in the chat saying Vince McMahon stated in '86 magazine during an interview with Jerry Lawler, he's the Walt Disney of pro wrestling. Boy, has he proven that 10 times fold.
Yeah.
Do not smudge in the name of Walt Disney, sir. At least Walt Disney, years later, his company is still providing good entertainment. There's some bad entertainment there too, absolutely. But I just spent my early afternoon or late afternoon watching Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel. So do not compare Walt Disney to Vince McMahon, sir, please.
How was Obi-Wan, by the way?
So like everyone on Twitter, because I was at work today, and everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, it's just filler," but I'm like, bro, this is a really fucking cool episode. Like it's in terms of like plot, it's probably like the least plot heavy, but like number one, it makes sense why they do what they do. I'm not gonna spoil anything, and it also leads up to something at the end, and like there's a lot of cool moments in there. There's one moment I really don't want to spoil with Obi-Wan, but it was so fucking cool. I was like,
I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen any episodes yet, actually. I haven't started it yet.
all I'm gonna say about this one scene is that there were two stormtroopers who were terrified for their fucking lives.
Nice.
And for justifiable reasons.
Justified reasons, okay.
I love this show. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing that I think. Well, number one, but definitely my favorite Star Wars Disney product. Even though I really love Rogue One,
Okay.
but like it's so good, and it's my favorite thing that Disney's put out, including Marvel, in a while. Maybe like outside of Spider-Man.
Nice.
Which is kind of Sony and Marvel.
Yeah. All right, so next up, we came back from a commercial, and we got Trent Beretta in the ring for a promo. You want to take this one away?
Sure. So Trent, you know, he mentioned how it's Best Friends Day, which I wore this shirt to work today and throughout my whole day because it is Best Friends Day.
Let's go.
I'm kind of like him.
Oh my god. Let's go.
There we go. Sorry for the audio listeners. I just did my best Orange Cassidy impression.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect audio representation.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah. No, that was very in character. You were good.
Thank you. So Trent comes out. He's sad because it's Best Friends Day, and
He's got no
his
friends.
best friends aren't there. You know, Chuck Taylor's not there. Orange Cassidy's not there. Even Rocky Romero's not there. Rocky's back in Japan. You know, he's just sad, but he's also kind of mad. He's frustrated because, you know, he was facing FTR with in Roppongi Vice for the ROH Championships a few weeks back. He didn't lose. He didn't win. There was interference from Jeff's, you know, friend of the podcast, Big O'Con. Great O'Con, sorry.
The Great O'Con.
And Great O'Con. And Jeff Cobb. And so, you know, Trent's like, I think we deserve a rematch. FTR comes out and they're like, you absolutely do deserve a rematch. But we can't let this go that, you know, these New Japan guys came in and messed up our title match. And so after that, we get Will Ospreay and the United Empire.
Waiting for this forever.
And they attack. They are here. They are in All Elite Wrestling. The Forbidden Door is open. And they lay out FTR and Trent.
Got my Kingpin shirt right here for Will Ospreay. Got to see him in Philly. The Kingpin.
Yeah, but this was awesome. I mean, like, again, like, I was frustrated from AEW's booking perspective tonight in terms of, you know, the world title picture and stuff at first. But like, man, it is really hard not to change to excitement with the Forbidden Door card shaping up. It's just like, this is gonna be awesome, man. This is just fucking excellent. And you know, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but in the, you know, on Rampage on Friday, Will Ospreay and the Aussies will be in action on Rampage.
Nice. Big T says awesome helmet. Yeah, so I got my Stormtrooper helmet here. Funny story about this. When I ordered it, it was portrayed as being a helmet that I could like put on my head. So it arrives and it might fit like a 6-year-old, maybe, if the bottom was cut out. So it's not a helmet to go on anything. There's a weird circle down here that I don't know what that was meant for. And there's no slot on the top to be a coin bank. But it was supposed to be a helmet. And, here we have it.
Juan saying that you look like a Cash Wheeler with glasses and less thick of a beard.
All right. Maybe I'll have to thicken the beard up. And, it's a funny story. So Cash Wheeler, that haircut that he has, that somewhat of a mullet thing, I pointed it out to the wife, and I was like, what do you think? I was like, I kind of want to do that haircut. And she was like, absolutely not. So imagine, Juan, if I actually did that.
But funny. You could be business in the front and party in the back.
Party in the back. I really enjoyed this Trent promo here. I'm a big fan of the Best Friends, like you are. I really, really, really love Will Ospreay, man. Like this, I don't know where this is all gonna go, because there's a lot of guys that were in the ring there, and I think we were talking a few weeks ago about that IWGP Tag Team Championships. I'm not sure where it's going right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to lead to a great match no matter what they do. I mean, I'm starting to see maybe they do I don't know. I feel like FTR is going to get cycled out of this feud. Because keep in mind, there is some long-term storytelling here with Best Friends being a part of Chaos. So, I don't know. I mean, they've definitely, apart from losing Wheeler Yuta, they have some members. Orange Cassidy should be good to go soon, I would imagine. I mean, he didn't need I don't think he needed surgery, so he should be good to go soon.
Probably going to be, and also Chaos is what Ospreay used to be part of, I believe.
Exactly. So there's definitely some storyline there leading into the pay-per-view. So that's my prediction where they're going with it. I think FTR is going to cycle out of this feud, hence why they're doing the trios match on Friday, because again, it is FTR and Trent versus Ospreay and his boys. I don't think you do that match on Friday if your pay-per-view plan is like an 8-man tag there. You know what I mean? So I see them going a different route. But yeah.
It took everything I had to not freak out just now. Some of you might have just saw me grab something off of the microphone here. A gigantic, probably a queen ant, was just crawling across my microphone. That thing was so big.
Oh.
See, now I want to watch the
exactly same. I
have the stream, so I have the stream on my TV, so I can look at the chat. Right, so now I want to watch.
That took everything I had not to jump out of my chair and freak out.
I'm deeply invested in this.
Man.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching.
I know we got wrestling to cover, but also Ant.
Yeah, Big T says, I think this will lead to the Hardys versus FTR for the AEW tag titles. See, really, I think they're going a different direction. I don't think the Hardys win their match next Wednesday. But Advogato's correct. There are so many good tag teams. There are so many good tag teams in these two companies.
And this is one of my favorite things about AEW right now. It's not predictable at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I have no clue where this tag division's going.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we had let me make sure here. Yeah, we had William Regal cutting a promo on Kyle O'Reilly in the back. He basically says, good luck tonight, buddy. I hope you, tell your wife and children goodbye. And then Kyle O'Reilly basically cut a promo back saying, that's been my whole life. I'm always getting, how do I say it? He's always being looked down upon, I guess, and always the underdog, and he's going to try to show people tonight. So it was a nice, decent promo. Did what it needed to do.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of cool moments here. I thought it was really cool kind of getting a little NXT reunion there. You had the Undisputed Elite and William Regal, his lordship. Apart from that, it was a great promo from Kyle O'Reilly, and I feel really bad feeling the way that I feel. But even after this promo, I was like, you're not winning this match. Like, I just don't see it. Mox has only been pinned like 3 times max in the history of the company, and he's been here from basically day one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he has a ratio of losing once a year. And this guy wrestles often. He's not like an MJF who only wrestles like a handful of times a year. Like, he wrestles often.
And it's never been clean. All of his losses are some sort of screwy finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just I don't know. I just kind of like Kyle O'Reilly definitely built up some credibility over the last few weeks, but I was just sitting here leading into the main event, like when the main event started, I just I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great match, but I just couldn't get into it because I just was like, well, Mox is going to win this match.
Yeah.
So it just didn't feel like, I don't know. It didn't feel like something that I wasn't invested in. I definitely wasn't invested.
I was just of the idea like, hey, I'm ready to see this good match, but I'm also ready to see Mox, raise his hand. So
yeah, but it was a great promo. It just didn't I don't think there's anything Kyle O'Reilly could have said or did that would have changed how I felt going into the main event.
No. Next up was Hangman Adam Page versus David Finlay with Adam Cole on commentary. This was David Finlay's debut in the AEW. He is the son of Fit Finlay. I believe he's a fourth generation. I don't know the other two Finlays, but that is four generations of talent there.
This was
I've actually never seen him wrestle. Have either of you guys ever seen him?
No.
David Finlay, yeah, I saw him on an episode of Impact one time when I was watching it.
I thought he was great, man. I was like, where's this guy been? This guy was fantastic.
Where's this guy been? He's been staying away from his father's place of work.
Yeah.
That's where he's been. He's been trying to stay as far away as possible.
Pretty much.
Big T in the chat saying, when do you think we're going to see young Maxwell again?
After Punk comes back and has whatever feud he has to get.
I don't think it's going to be that long.
No?
I think probably leading up to I guess, if we're expecting Punk to only be out for like a month or two, I think by All Out, MJF's on the card for All Out. So a few weeks, maybe a few months at most.
Yeah.
They're slowly trickling things in, like, oh, he was removed from the roster page. He was removed from the shop. They unfollowed him on social media. The executives are now in on the work, and they don't. Yeah. There is an edict from the executives to take him off of all the promotional material for the show. It's just like, all right, well, we're gonna get to a point where you can't do much more with that. And now there's a rumor going around today that he's pursuing a Hollywood career.
Hollywood, yeah.
And I'm just like, that was just funny to me at that point. At that point, it's just funny. It's like, I'm not saying he isn't going to be an actor, but he's not going to pursue acting at this age. No, he wants to, focus on his wrestling career. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think All Out would be a good spot for him to return and for Punk to return. I think that's about right.
Yeah, but to get back to the match at hand, this was an excellent match. I've seen David Finlay before. I was not disappointed. I didn't notice last time. I don't know if he did it last time, but I appreciated him bringing the shillelagh out with him. That was a nice little nod to his pops. That was cool.
I do believe that's part of his character fully. I think he always carries that around, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Hangman wins the match via the buckshot lariat, and we get post-match promo where Adam Page basically challenges Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
And then Adam Cole basically kind of jumps in and says, like, man, you don't deserve that title right now. You lost your title. You need to get, in the back of the line.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm killing it right now. I'm the one that should be challenging for the title.
He's got a point.
He's got a point.
He does have a point.
And that's when a good heel always has a point.
Ain't that the truth?
Put the glasses down.
Put the glasses down.
You see,
oh my god.
I don't view myself as a heel. I don't think I'm a heel at all.
You kind of just admitted you were, but continue.
I'm just a guy telling the truth. Here week in, week out with these beautiful viewers, these beautiful people. As long as they're not from New Jersey, because New Jersey is without a doubt the biggest cesspool I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't even know why have we not jettisoned the entire state of New Jersey into the ocean at this point. Let's take Vince McMahon. I have an idea. Let's take Vince McMahon.
No. We don't want him. No.
Cody Rhodes.
No.
Vince McMahon, Cody Rhodes, and the entire Dallas Cowboys organization, and just put them all in New Jersey, and then get some huge rockets, massive, and just fucking hit the red button and blast it off into the moon.
Okay, we can't put all your problems in one state and then just get rid of the state. I'm just saying.
Why not?
Whoa, Big T, that's a good point. Big T says this is the first Dynamite they didn't do a meet and greet. I didn't see anything about meet and greets either. That's a good point.
Possible. I mean, again, there was a lot of changes, a lot of influx today, so
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this show was probably rewritten.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this
do you
weekend. not
agree
last
that the
night.
Owen Hart titles shouldn't be defended, or do you think they should have those belts be defended?
No,
I don't think they should be defended. Even though they are belts, they are not championships. They are trophies. So
Exactly.
it's not an actual championship. It's a trophy,
And
which is weird. That's weird that I say that because there was an actual trophy.
Yeah,
You
but you
know?
can't carry the trophy around all the time. That would be stupid.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more of a eye thing. It's like so that it's
Yeah.
like it gives him. Also, it makes sense with his character because he's like, look at me, look at this trophy I have, you
Yeah.
know. And it goes very well with his character because that was one of the biggest things missing from his character is Cole is really good when he has something on his shoulder.
Yeah, and I think it's unique. These are basically the only belts in wrestling that I could think of that don't change hands, you know? So I think it's something unique. We'll see how it plays out, but
Well, I guess it's similar to the Dynamite ring, you know.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Every year there'll be a new winner of the belt, and then they carry it around. Like I said, it's essentially their king and queen of the ring.
You know, I just had this idea, right? So the Dynamite Diamond Ring is always up for grabs like every August, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we see MJF reemerge.
When do they do that? Do they do that at Grand Slam or?
No, it wasn't at Grand Slam. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's always in August.
Yeah. That'd be a good place for MJF to show back up. He would have to defend his be the 4-time.
Yeah, I think he should just keep winning that no matter what.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next segment here. We had Thunder Rosa talking with Tony Schiavone, and she essentially challenges anyone in the locker room. And Marina Shafir accepts. I'm still not sold on Marina Shafir. She had a really good match on Dark. I will definitely give her that. But I don't think, she was the right choice here when Rosa was kind of complaining about her title run and getting some time and people wanted to see her a little bit more. I feel like we should have given Rosa someone to have, a much better match against, but, it was what it was. So later in the night, we got a Rosa versus Marina Shafir. Next up go ahead.
So I'll argue this, right? Because I'm actually going to play a devil's advocate here. I actually thought that Marina Shafir was the person to put in this spot, considering that she's just kind of bridging the gap. So let me ask you this. Who would you have put in a match to lose to Thunder Rosa tonight for the World Championship? Now, keep in mind, they clearly wanted a heel to do it. So you got to pick someone who's a heel, who's not in a storyline right now, who is somewhat credible. Who would you put?
Makes
that she
sense.
hasn't beaten already.
I see what you're saying.
Because, you could argue maybe Nyla Rose, but she beat Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe Emi Sakura, but Emi Sakura hasn't had any singles matches in, 4 months.
Yeah.
I think Marina Shafir was the right person for this job because, number one, this show is heavily rewritten, and I do not think that this was a match that was planned this time 3 days ago.
Agreed.
I just don't. So there's that. You can't be Nyla, it can't be Serena because she already beat those two for the title. It's not going to be Britt again. So you're taking all these top heels away. The other top heels, you got Jade and the Baddies. They're dealing with something right now. I just thought that this was a great choice. I mean, they needed a one-off. They needed a match. You sent me the JD tweet, and I knew when I saw JD tweet today that he was not interested in this match. I was like, Jeff's gonna fucking text me about this. No, I knew it. I remember I was on Twitter when I got home from work, and I look at that tweet, and I'm like, yeah, Jeff's gonna text that to me in 30 minutes and be like, the internet hates this match. And sure enough, as I normally do when it comes to making predictions,
Oh my
Uso
God.
texted me, but young
Every time I
Jeffrey.
reach off screen.
I know it's it's gonna be a swerve. It's just like, oh, it's just water.
One day, yeah, one day you're gonna pick up water and be like, whoa.
But no, it's like Jeff texted me. He's like, "Oh, this is a bad idea," and I'm like, "Why is it a bad idea? They need a one-off heel to do this match. Who, you know, Marina Shafir's had a few good matches on Dark and Elevation. You know, I just playing devil's advocate. I thought it was a good spot, a good choice to go in this one-off match, and I'll even do you one better. I liked the match too.
Same.
Well, now to defend myself, I said it was a bad idea unless they put on a banger. So, you know.
You did say that, but I would argue that even if the match itself wasn't super hot, the point of the match was to get to the end point.
Yeah, I mean, after you made your points, I do agree with you. Like, who else was there? I almost can't really name anybody else that should have been in that spot. Like, maybe if you would have brought back somebody like Penelope, you know what I'm saying? But she's not anywhere to be found. So, sure. I actually agree with you now. That was a good choice of an opponent.
Yeah, because I think even Rosa beat Bunny recently.
Yeah, it was somewhat recently. But again, like, Bunny doesn't have any singles wins. Like, they keep in mind, Marina Shafir was ranked number 5, where she was in the top 5, and also like so the rankings matter, and like it was a world title match. It wasn't a non-title match. It was a world title match. So it's like you gotta go with a female heel who's in the top 5, who's not in a program right now. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so next up was Tony Schiavone interviewing Wardlow to basically advise why he was not in the Battle Royale. This was decent. I really enjoyed what he said. Basically, he said he wants Punk. He said CM Punk is the AEW champion, so whatever's going on in the meantime, he says, I'm not interested in that. When Punk comes back, he wants CM Punk. I actually really liked that.
I really did too. I thought that was a very wholesome, very natural way to keep your babyface away from the title. But like he's not ready for the world title scene yet. You got to let it continue to build. And I thought that this was super smart. Like Wardlow wants to win it the right way, and that accomplishes almost everything that you need to accomplish with Wardlow at this stage of his career in a promo. You know, got him over as a babyface who's going to do things the right way. The dude's still a fucking badass. He's not backing down from a fight by any means. He's like, I want Punk 100%. So when I beat him, nobody can say anything. And like, that's excellent. That's perfect. I also think that it's a great idea for him to go after the TNT title, which he does talk about after that. He says that the title has lost value due to the people that are currently chasing it or were chasing it, and he wants to bring the prestige of the title back, which I'm all for. I just feel really bad for I just feel really bad for Scorpio Sky, like, because the guy deserves a title reign, and I'm getting the vibe right now that he is not going to get said title reign.
I'm worried about Scorpio's leg. We don't know actually. He keeps saying it's a strained muscle, but you know we don't.
Yeah,
really
I feel
know.
like. Well, so he got an MRI done on Monday. I do know that.
Okay.
But I don't know what the MRI said. I mean, at the end of the day, he was there on TV.
Yeah.
And they didn't book it in a way where you think he's going to wrestle. And like he's not going to wrestle, but he's also not dropping the belt because, you know, they were playing off as like, he's hurt still. You can't wrestle him right now. And even Wardlow's like, take your time. Same thing with you. I want you to be 100%.
Yeah,
so,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that he's just like, oh, no. I don't need an advantage. You need to be 110%. I will then powerbomb you to the center of the earth. I love that.
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome take on this kick-ass babyface character. It's really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Again, feel bad for Scorpio because I just feel like whenever he's healthy enough to wrestle, he's going to lose this title.
Yeah.
And that really sucks for him.
All of a sudden, Mark Sterling appears backstage with a bunch of security guards, and he lets Wardlow know he has two choices. He can either accept his lawsuit, the class action lawsuit, or he can have a match against 20 of them, which I think I suggested this a while ago, actually, as one of my things I wanted to see was Wardlow versus all the security guards at the same time. So I actually think this is going to look really good. I don't know what they're going to do, whether it's going to be like one at a time. He's going to have to pin all 20 of them, or is it going to be all 20?
It's an elimination match. It's an elimination match. He's going to have to pin every single one of them.
Oh God.
Or you can just knock him out.
Yeah, but there's no fun in that. They're gonna have whatever referee is out there is gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like they're they're gonna do that. He's just gonna knock out like all of them, and he's just gonna start like it's gonna be a pile of bodies. He's gonna take one body out of the pile, pin him. Another body out of the pile, pin him.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be like a multi-man melee match, but just with power bombs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
One in the chat saying Wardlow would look pretty good holding 2 titles. One of them shouldn't be the world title. Goldberg held the U.S. and heavyweight championships in WCW and sometimes the tag title. He reminds Juan of Prime Goldberg. So I agree to an extent, but not in the sense that they should be giving him multiple titles. I do think that you need to be careful in terms of the booking of anyone. You don't want them to come off as too invincible. Like WWE is super predictable because
Roman Reigns.
Exactly. You took the words literally right out of my mouth. Jeffrey, great job. But like Roman Reigns is a prime example. Like they're like no one thinks Roman's ever lose. Like obviously eventually he's going to do the job to somebody, but like very rarely does Roman lose, and it makes the entire character, doesn't matter how good the character is, just like overly super predictable because they don't build anybody up to that can match him. So that's the one thing I would say about that, is that I do think that the Goldberg character is cool. They need to be careful with Wardlow and not make him OP, as it were. Just be careful with that. That's all I ask. I don't want Wardlow to be a Goldberg. I want Wardlow to be better than Goldberg. Goldberg
actually used the line "Who's next?" Huh? Okay.
I don't think he did. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But I mean, the Goldberg character was like really cool in terms of the entrance and the appearance. But like even WCW days, like he went out there, he hit 2 moves, 3 moves, then he won. It's how he fucking beat the Fiend. How did that work out? Didn't work out at all. So like I just want to sit here as the cautious one and say, hey, look, I know that Goldberg was cool, but let's not make Wardlow Goldberg. Let's make him better than Goldberg.
Yeah.
And in terms of the fact that Wardlow's going to go out there and actually have a match that, he's a believable character who, he's going to kick his ass, but, he's not going to win every single time. Nobody should win every single time. I'm a huge CM Punk fan. Obviously I'm his number 1 fan. And I don't think the guy should win every match he's in. Like, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think the phrase "who's next" is just such a commonly used thing in fighting and stuff like that. I'm not sure they meant that to reference Goldberg at all, but it is interesting that Jim Ross said that.
Well, yeah, I mean, JR sometimes lets things
Like I said, I don't know if it was meant to reference anything. I think it's just just a normal thing to say, like, oh, who's going to be next for Goldberg or for Wardlow. So
yeah.
All right, next up was the Young Bucks in what they called their office, cutting a promo. The Hardys interrupt. They say the door was unlocked, and Christian and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus interrupt that as well. Looks like we're going to be getting a big 3-way. Is that what wound up going on there?
Yes. Yeah, so we're getting next week on Dynamite a 3-way dance tag team ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships. It will be Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. Let me tell you something.
I'm worried about the Hardys.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm fine. Hardys?
It'll be fine. They'll give Jeff another month off. I am honestly 100% okay with the Hardys having 1 match a month, and in that match they die. That's fine. That's fine. Let them do that. If Jeff wants to do that, if Jeff wants to hey guys, I'm gonna steal the show once a month, and then just give me 4 weeks to recoup. Go for it. That's your gimmick, man. Do it. That's what people want to see. I mean, obviously, as long as you don't actually die, stay healthy to an extent.
I can see it.
But this is going to be an awesome match, and it's worth noting that Christian proposed this match, and Jungle Boy was clearly very against this match. So it seems like this is The next week will probably, in my opinion, be where the hat drops, as they say.
Yeah.
What it looked to me was when Christian was like, Jungle Boy lost last week, but it wasn't for the titles. It looked like Jungle Boy was like, what the fuck, man? What does he got to say that shit for? Like, that's what that looked like to me.
Yeah. Also, did you guys notice that every single time Christian opens his mouth, the tag team titles always end up being held in some kind of triple threat match?
Yeah, I did notice that also. I did like Christian's one line at the beginning of this promo because the Bucks are in their locker room or whatever, and the Hardys come in like, Brandon, you didn't lock the door, and then Christian comes through Jurassic Express and he's like, man, you guys should really lock that door. I love that type of stuff. Juan in the chat asking, why are the Hardys doing another ladder match? The Hardys are trying to kill themselves in the ring. Jeff couldn't compete last week, and Matt had to carry his brother against the Bucks. So Juan, the thing you gotta understand is at the end of the day, like that's the Hardys, man.
Yeah.
Like that's what we got when they signed up for AEW. Like obviously, again, even though I'm saying I want them to have these matches, like I want them to have these matches because these are the matches they want to have.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, like at this stage of his career, like Jeff isn't going to give you a great wrestling match. Like that's just not in the cards. I think Matt is still capable of having a pretty good wrestling match, but Jeff not so much. I mean, the guy has beat up his body a lot over the years. So, I mean, I think that this match is a much better spot to be in because keep in mind the last ladder match was a singles match, whereas this is a three-way tag. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts that can kind of carry the match so Jeff doesn't have to do too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, I'm worried about Jeff in this, but I'm thinking he might actually be a little bit healed up here. I read some stuff about like why Jeff was so hurt, and it was mostly that Darby Allin match. Apparently, he took some pretty tough bumps in that match that kind of left him like, you know, those bruises that if you touch the bruise, like it reminds you of how bad that hurt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a few of those, you know, maybe even a bone bruise somewhere. And it was just really, you know, tough to take any bumps for those last couple weeks. Seeing that they're going to do this ladder match really makes me think Jeff might be feeling better, but you never know, man. It's like I've never seen these guys say no to a match, and we'll find out.
Yeah, and you never will. You'll never hear them say no to a match.
No.
Juan agrees with Jim Cornette's take. There is always time to change up your style of wrestling, and the Hardys should definitely do that. Here's the thing, right? Like, so number one, agreeing with Jim Cornette's a really risky business.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Jim Cornette is extremely out of touch. He may be more out of touch than Vince McMahon, if that's possible.
Jim just makes outlandish statements to, you know, to get the views and stuff.
I don't know, man. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you listen to him as well. You watch The Fed, you probably check out.
I actually stopped listening to him because he insults Kenny Omega pretty much every episode, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, so like, and in terms of changing your style, like, if the Hardys don't want to change their style, they shouldn't have to change it. Like, again, like you're right. There comes to a point where like you know they have to take care of themselves, absolutely. But at the same time, like that's the wrestling that they want to do. They want to go out there and they want to do these types of matches, and you know, who are we to stop them?
Yeah, you know, Jeff's one of those, I forget what they're called, you know, daredevil type dudes. He's out there on dirt bikes and, you know, all
he's
that.
an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, he's an adrenaline junkie. There you go. So, you know, he's going to do it till the wheels fall off. That's just how it is.
Which, like, he's had issues in the past. I would much rather Jeff find his high through adrenaline seeking than any other high. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, you know, if it helps Jeff be clean to jump, like, if Jeff's alternatives, like, and again, like, you know, obviously there's more to life than this, but if Jeff's choices of finding enjoyment are like drugs or jumping off a ladder, I'd rather you jump off the ladder.
I agree.
That's just me personally, you know. Hey, I don't judge.
Yeah.
But, you know.
All right. So that was a good promo here. Going to set up a great match for next week. You know, as much as I'm worried for Jeff after seeing Cody wrestle that match, I'm just like, whatever. I don't know if I'll be that worried about anybody ever again. So next up was the Marina Shafir versus Thunder Rosa for the women's world title match. Thunder Rosa's Kill Bill gear. I absolutely love that gear when she's wearing that Kill Bill outfit. It looks so good. I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool look. I think she's worn it before, if I'm not mistaken.
After a certain age, you go from adrenaline junkie to a plain a-hole.
Oh, come on. I don't look. All right, this podcast will not be a hating on Jeff Hardy because he likes to jump off ladders podcast. I will say this though, right? So I was on Reddit the other day, and this is kind of off track, but I wanted to share this. So and I didn't want to save the link because of how like awful it was. But so I saw this. I think it was on the wrestling subreddit, right? And it was this video of this indie wrestling show. And it was definitely deathmatch wrestling. So they were on top of like a destroyed old school bus, right?
Oh god.
And so he choke slams the guy off of the school bus onto a trampoline. And you're like, oh, it's just a trampoline. It's not that bad. But then the camera guy goes closer, and it was not a trampoline. It was the shell of a trampoline, like the metal circle of the trampoline. But instead of the bouncy canvas, it was a web of barbed wire.
Yep.
And his head, the guy got chokeslammed off the bus, and his head got caught on the barbed wire, and so his body flew forward, but his head didn't, and it jerked back, and it was extremely unsettling.
Ugh.
I was like,
yeah,
this is awful. This is, you want to talk about unnecessary? Like, jumping off a ladder is one thing. This guy could have had his fucking been decapitated. So
yeah, that doesn't
you know what I
sound
mean?
fun.
So it's like it could be a lot worse. Like let's all calm down in terms of wrestling that goes too far, because they're not doing things like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was wild. I didn't even want to share it. I didn't even want to save the link. I was like, I don't ever want to see this ever again.
Yeah, nah. All right, well, this Marina Shafir match, I like that you guys said you enjoyed the match, because I'll say the first third of this match I did not enjoy. When they were trying to do the technical wrestling stuff, it was painfully obvious that Marina Shafir did not know exactly what to do next. But I think they recovered extremely well. I think Thunder Rosa was like, listen, I'm taking over. Just follow my lead. And I thought they did absolutely fantastic after that first third of the match. And I could see the look you're giving me here.
So I think that I do agree with you that the match got better as it went on, but I would not say that I found it to be a bad first third. I actually thought that was kind of how the match was supposed to look. It seemed I feel like what made this match as good as it was that it kind of played to Marina's strengths. It didn't try to do more than, like, when Marina Shafir had the match with Jade, they tried to do more than what they should have. And then that resulted in a bad match. And I felt like here, they just played to Marina's strength. They're like, hey, look, you're going to grapple with Thunder Rosa, and you're going to be rolling around a lot of technical It's not even technical wrestling. It's just
MMA.
like, exactly, MMA. Thank you. Yeah, it was like it's MMA wrestling, and that was the point of that match. If anything, I would argue that it was the other way around. I think Thunder Rosa wasn't super used to it, and she was caught a little like deer in the headlights a little bit. It was a style that Thunder Rosa hasn't really had to do as someone who is a bit of a smaller wrestler. She's not a powerhouse wrestler, and therefore doesn't do the MMA wrestling kind of stuff very at all. So
I can see that.
No, I thought that this was a good match for Marina Shafir. Now, do I think Marina Shafir is like, the future? No, I don't think she's the future, and I don't think she definitely has a lot of work to do, because you can't just be good at one thing. You need to do more than just one thing if you're going to be successful in a company like AEW.
Yeah.
But that being said, I thought it was a good match. It was enjoyable. It played to Marina's strengths, and it got the job done. If I could do one thing differently, well, I know, because I was thinking maybe the post-match attack was a bit much, but that's how you get Tony Storm out there to set up for the next program, which, like, God, yes, like, let's get Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. Like again, like, this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and, like, it sets up for a really cool match. It's going to be face versus face most likely, which I'm okay with, but this is how you get that face versus face match set up. Because, Tony's going to come out and help Thunder Rosa. She's getting attacked. So I thought it was great. I really liked it.
Now,
And I agree with Rome on the technical side. The slower bits where it looks like stuff was out of place was they were trying to imitate the jockeying for position, trying to get the hand, trying to get the finger exactly where it needs to be, trying to get the wrist exactly where it needs to be. And then as the match went on, it actually, I like the story the match told was like, oh, like for Thunder Rosa to win, she needed to stop trying to do the MMA stuff and needed to start doing the Thunder Rosa stuff. She's like, I'm a professional wrestler, and that's why that ending with the technical pin roll up, and they even pointed it out on commentary, made so much sense.
You know, it's great. It's great for us that you agreed with me. You know, and it just proves that the saying is correct that, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. It's just a shame that you're using up your correct choices now, bud. You should probably save it for the pay-per-view.
We will see.
Oh man, I love you guys. Tony Storm comes out after this match. Well, let's finish the match real quick. So they had a great back and forth match. Once Rosa took over, she wins with that roll up reversal, which I thought was the perfect way to end the match. An MMA person got defeated by a pro wrestling move. I thought it was perfect. So Marina Shafir attacks Thunder Rosa after she's up there celebrating, and Tony Storm comes out for the save. And this might be controversial here, but I say give Tony Storm that belt. She looked incredible with that belt.
Look, I agree that Tony Storm would be a great champion, but no, you're not having Thunder Rosa only have a 3-month title reign. No, she's gotta go for at least 6.
Yeah, I
Like,
figured out a
that's
way
way
to
too
stretch it or
soon.
make this a program between the two of them last a while, but Tony Storm holding that belt, man, I was just like, yes, please, yes.
Wait a second, Big T. That I am nothing like Jim Cornette. How dare you, sir? Even heel Rome is nothing like Jim Cornette. My God, I'm just trying to carry this program to the pay-per-view. You know,
Yeah.
someone's got to do the work for this feud. I gotta put butts in seats.
Yep. It is too soon. I do agree, Big T. But man, in the moment, me seeing her holding that belt, I was just like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also kind of
want
to comment on what Jordan said. Also, you know, a quote from recent Tony Storm podcast appearance on Renee Paquette's podcast, which was a great listen, by the way. I definitely recommend it. You know, where Tony was talking about her time in WWE. She said, "They don't give a shit, so why should I?"
Yep.
It was an excellent podcast, actually. And if you don't listen to Renee Paquette's podcast, you should, because it's a really good show. But this is a really insightful interview with some of her time in WWE, and I would recommend listening to it, especially even if you guys haven't listened to it. It was really good.
I actually wanted to check that out. There's a clip or something from it I was about to watch, and then I got distracted.
Yeah, just download it. I listen to it on Google Podcasts. So, like, that's where I listen to my podcasts.
Yeah,
where you can also listen to the Broken Tables podcast.
Yes.
I was about to say, can you also listen to the Broken Tables podcast on there? And where else, Rome?
Well, on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Music, even. Come on.
Wow, that's so many places that you could listen to such a good podcast.
And cheap pop from the babyface.
I have to upload all of them now.
We love your local sports team. Let's go.
Except for New Jersey sports teams.
Except for the New Jersey teams,
the Devils,
yes.
And technically the New York teams, because they play in Jersey. And again, that's another thing that sucks about New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Like, the Giants and the Jets are awful for NFL franchises. You know, like MetLife Stadium, a piece of shit. You know what I mean? It's just like,
man, I went to see my Steelers play in MetLife Stadium and they lost like 40-0. I was like, what is happening here? This place sucks.
That never happens. You know, Forrest, actually, I have a bone to pick with you. So, Dev and I were have discussed this in the past, and I got to know, right? So, as you know, Dev is a friend of Forrest and I. You know, we watch the Eagles games every Sunday, right? And last year there was a game against the New York Football Giants that you and the wife had attended.
Yes.
And I'm just really curious, because like Dev and I talked about it a lot, but like, what's the story there? How did you guys end up at a football game? Because like we were really shocked that you guys went to a Giants game.
We were just presented an opportunity, and we were like, all right. And then we went, and then I've never been, so it was my first one ever.
See, football games are really fun, but we were really disappointed because the Eagles actually kind of shit the bed on that game.
Yes, they did.
But
Really bad.
We were curious, like, if the wife was like secretly a Giants fan. I was like, we didn't know that she was possibly a Giants fan. Like, what the hell? She watches football? Because we knew that you really don't.
Hey, so
Yeah,
Jordan,
we watch whatever's on. We watch MMA as well too.
I guess so,
Jordan
that's
has
true.
added
Fair
us
enough.
to Player FM for Android. Thank you, Jordan. I didn't, I actually wasn't aware of that one, so thanks for adding the feed.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. We appreciate the love. It means a lot.
I'll have to check that one out. All right, so next up we had Stokely and the Baddies cutting a promo on basically the three ladies. We had Athena and Anna Jay, and who's the third one? Chris Statlander. Stokely messing up Statlander's name was one of my highlights of the night. He was like, and what's her name? The girl from the other planet. And I think he called her,
Kristen
I don't remember.
Highlander.
Yeah, Highlander. That was great. I love Stokely. This dude is going to be one of the best pickups they've had. Is perfection. This guy is amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thought it was a good promo, a little solid promo to kind of move this story along.
Yep. All right. Next up, actually, I wrote down a commercial that we got to see. I'm not sure if everybody got to see it, but there was a commercial for Black Adam, the DC superhero movie coming.
This guy again. I know. Clearly, the hottest commercial of the night was the Toonami commercial.
Yes, there's finally Toonami bought advertising on AEW.
I saw that.
I feel like I was
living about that.
I was living the dream. And like Jeff, look, all right, I understand that you're really excited for Black Adam. You sent me the link this morning to the trailer, and like I'm just like, look, man, I'm not trying to hate, but like DC, like especially the movies, like most of them really suck. So like, I'm gonna reserve the right to just not give a shit about this movie until people like say like, hey, bro, this movie's really good and you should see it. And if it's not really good, well, then I'm not gonna see it anyway. So we'll see what happens.
No, I can understand that, but yeah, I was super stoked for Toonami as well. But they use Naruto, so I was like, man.
All right, sure, that's fair enough. I would have went something else.
Naruto sells,
It does. Naruto definitely does sell.
Yeah. No.
So next up, we had the main event of the night: Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know why I wrote this down, but we had Bryce Remsburg as the referee. Thought I'd just put that out there.
He's a great ref.
I'm a big Bryce fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bryce. I think it was because the wife asked me, she's like, who is this ref? And I was like, that is Bryce Remsburg, and I wrote it down.
If you want to see how good of a ref Bryce Remsburg is, and I showed this to Rome, go watch the Invisible Man versus Invisible Man match.
Yeah.
Refed by
Remsburg.
Yeah.
Remsburg.
So it's Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
Yeah.
STAN. And yes,
really
it's a GCW match, and it is by far one of the best performances I've ever seen in pro wrestling from a referee.
Yeah.
If period overall.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the greatest reffing job I've ever seen.
It just proves that Bryce Remsburg is, no pun intended on this, but an elite referee.
Yeah, and isn't he wearing like a set of goggles to where the story is he can see them?
Yeah, he's got invisible goggles.
Yeah.
It was
Joey Janela's glasses for bad boy vision. Because that was the only way he could see the competitors.
Yeah, shout out to that crowd too. They really helped.
Yeah,
they got so into it.
They were so. I would too. I would love it.
Yo,
but no, everyone, please, when the podcast is over, please go and look this up. It's like an 11-minute match. It is so good if you've never seen it. And I'll tell you what. So watch it and then come back to this video and comment on this video how awesome it was.
Yes, let us know your thoughts on it.
I'll check out the comments tomorrow and we could talk about the match because it's really good.
This gives me an idea for a segment for us where we go back and we watch like some old match or something like this from the past, and we kind of mystery science theater it,
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, Big T says he's seen the match many times.
Many times,
good
nice.
Man. Good man.
So good.
So this match, man, Mox and Kyle O'Reilly killed it, and it wasn't till halfway through the match that I was like, wait a minute, Kyle O'Reilly was already in a match tonight and put on another banger. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is super underrated. I can't wait till everybody gets on board with Kyle O'Reilly and we start giving him some cheers and stuff like that. Or, you know, maybe we make him a good enough heel he gets the boos, but I think he's super underrated at the moment.
Again, I feel bad because it was a great match. It was a great performance. It was a great night for Kyle O'Reilly. The guy did great in the Battle Royale and won, had a great promo, and then went on to have a great match against Mox. But it's just like at no point tonight did I think that he had any chance of winning this title. At no point was I like, oh man, Kyle O'Reilly's winning this match. Like, usually, like, there's like moments in a match. Like, if I really think someone's gonna win, usually in AEW they do a good enough job where it's like there's a shred of disbelief, and that just didn't happen here for me. And maybe I was just being pessimistic about it, but it was just like I was like, there's no way that Kyle O'Reilly is beating Jon Moxley tonight. Like there was no way in a million years that Jon Moxley was losing this match tonight.
Yeah, I felt that way too.
And you know, in hindsight, that's okay. Like it bothered me at first. You know, again, like I thought the ending of the Battle Royal and the Joker reveal of Andrade was all very flat, but by the end of the night, I was like, you know what, we're gonna get Mox versus Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. That's gonna be awesome. And like let's assume that, like, for right now, let's just go off the assumption Punk's out 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you already have the main event of All Out set up for Punk versus Mox. And that's great. So it's like, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be good.
So there were a few points in this match where I was like, oh, maybe they are going to go with Kyle O'Reilly. There were a few strikes, there were a few like moments where they were going toe to toe and it was like evenly matched. It was an amazing match.
Yeah.
Super technical, super physical, it was probably one of the better Jon Moxley matches. He has good matches, but this was really good. This was an insane Kyle O'Reilly match, but this was a really good Mox match. They both elevated each other. There was this sequence where they were doing the same move on each other because they both kind of have that same style, and just every blow for blow, the same move, and it was like, what, 3 or 4 moves in a row that were identical, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm eating this up. Like, and it was in that moment I was like, oh, maybe they're telling the story that like he is equal to him and then will then surpass him. But you know, in our brains we know it's Jon Moxley. He's probably the number 2 guy of AEW at all times, so you know, not realistically gonna happen. But the match did a good enough job for suspending my disbelief. There were a few seconds where I thought Kyle O'Reilly was going to win.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that because before the match, I was completely with Rome. I was like, there ain't no way Kyle O'Reilly's winning this match. I was like, we're getting Moxley, Tanahashi. That's just how it is. But once that match was, you know, getting towards the home stretch, there was a couple of submissions O'Reilly put in that I was like, yo, he might get this. Like, it literally made the doubt creep into me a tad, but, you know, we knew the outcome.
Yeah. I think honestly, the one thing that I would have done to change this, if I could have, I would have just had Mox. I would have just had the Battle Royal. I wouldn't have had this meeting Mox in the main event thing because it just kind of set up for disappointment, in my opinion. Again, like I understand you guys, you feel a little bit different, and again, in the long term, like Kyle O'Reilly came out looking strong, and you know, but I don't know. In terms of trying to like have a show that like was exciting from beginning to end, I don't know if I would have even bothered doing this Mox match because for me it just was like, all right, well, I just feel like Mox is going to be the champ.
Yeah, you needed a main event that wasn't the Battle Royale, I think, because I think he wanted to start with it for sure, but I don't know.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I think I just would have started with the Battle Royale.
Yeah, it is what it is. So Moxa wins the match with a bulldog choke, and then, or actually, I'm sorry, no, he puts him into the bulldog choke, hits him with what they called the regal knee. I don't think I had seen that before. And then he puts on the big old paradigm shift, and 1, 2, 3, Mox wins. And now we gotta wait for the 12th to see if it's gonna be Tanahashi or the other guy's name escapes me right now. I think it's Hugo. I can't remember his exact name.
I think it's Goto.
Goto, there we go. I was somewhere close by.
Yeah. A little cool thing that I wrote down in my notes for this match also was, so Regal was on commentary, and JR does mess up Bryan Danielson's name. He calls him Daniel Bryan.
All the time.
Which JR apologizes for, and William Regal responds with, "I created that name, Mr. Ross, so you can use that name as much as you like."
Oh wow.
I thought that was a cool little tidbit.
Wow. Really?
Yep, that's what Regal said. He said, "I created that name so you can use it as often as you like."
That's actually really cool. I'm surprised I missed that.
Yep.
That's really cool.
That's
all right,
dope.
man. So excellent episode of Dynamite. You know, not one of their greatest ever, but definitely a good episode. We got a lot of Forbidden Door stuff rolling now. You know, just decent episode of Dynamite. I thought it did what it needed to do tonight. We got through, you know, this, whatever you want to call it, this mess with Punk with his injury, and you know, we're gonna get to the Forbidden Door and have an interim champion. So what do we got for Friday night Rampage? What did they announce for us?
So real quick before we get into that, I'm just gonna go into the chat real quick. We got Juan asking us, what does he think? What do we think about Adam Page versus Okada?
Oh yeah.
Will it happen at Forbidden Door, or will Page versus Cole happen in place of that? And should Adam Page head to New Japan full time? So firstly, I think they're gonna end up doing a 3-way dance.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be Cole versus Okada versus Page.
Yep.
Secondly, I don't think that Adam Page is going to go to New Japan full time. I think he's an AEW lifer, personally. Yeah. He might do some work for New Japan, you know, because there's clearly a relationship there, but I don't see Adam Page going to New Japan full time at any point.
So I wouldn't say like full time, but remember when Jon Moxley was the United States champion for the IWGP?
Sure.
So he would go over there often and have matches that we didn't even like know about over here. So I do think that's what's going to happen, especially if he somehow wins that IWGP championship, which I kind of doubt. But if he does win it, he's going to be over there a lot. So, yeah, I see him being more like Jon Moxley was with NJPW.
Okay. Anyway, so, leading up to this Friday for Rampage, we're back to our regular 10 o'clock time slot. I don't know if that's sticking. I don't know how... if other sports are wrapped up yet or not, but we back at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Standard, I believe. We have Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander
again.
We have again. Well,
I'll take it though. I love it.
So
they put on a banger. So
yeah, they've had good matches, but it's just the continuation of Statlander versus the baddies. We have FTR and Trent teaming up to take on Will Ospreay and Aussie Open.
Oh, I can't wait for that match.
Mm-hmm. They probably open with that. I would say at 10 o'clock they probably open with that. We are going to get, and I'm not sure if these are two different things or if it's going to be a tag match, but we are getting the debut of Satnam Singh plus Jay Lethal will be in action.
Okay.
So it was one single card on the TV screen. So my assumption is that it's going to be a tag match, but we'll see. It could be two singles matches. We will hear from Hookhausen, and Jake Hager will take on Eddie Kingston.
Nice.
That should be an interesting match there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good Rampage. I mean, again, just seeing Ospreay wrestle is going to be really cool.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good show with some good matches on this card.
Yeah, Ospreay's coming back from a kidney infection, I believe. He was out of commission for the past couple weeks.
Okay. And then so next week for Dynamite, we have a special theme Dynamite, which are always really good shows. We have Road Rager. Road Rager.
I think we're gonna see
match
Jericho
on the card.
I think we're gonna see Jericho lose his hair at that Road Rager.
I think
we shall see. We might. But so it's going to be a hair versus hair match, Jericho versus Ortiz. We have the 3-way ladder match signed for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Bucks versus Jurassic Express versus the Hardys. We have Wardlow in a 20v1 elimination match And then finally for Dynamite next week, we have an All Atlantic Championship qualifier: Ethan Page versus Miro, the winner making it to the 4-way dance at Forbidden Door.
That's such a weird matchup, and I can't wait to see that.
For real.
Them two fight each other.
Juan saying in the chat, I heard a lot about Will Ospreay, but have never seen any of his matches personally. Do you think he will make the move to AEW soon and full time? So I haven't seen much of Ospreay either, admittedly. Again, like I just never have the time to follow these other wrestling companies, which I don't have a problem with them. Like, I don't mind Impact. I know some people really hate Impact. I would probably enjoy Impact if I had the time to watch it. Not as much as I enjoy AEW, but and that goes for New Japan too. It's just a matter of time for me having the time to watch it. I don't know if Ospreay would move to AEW anytime soon. I think the beautiful thing about both companies is that there's definitely benefits for both. You know, I think AEW does go a little bit more mainstream than New Japan, but of course that's just from an American perspective.
Yeah.
But, you know, it could maybe, possible.
So knowing what I know about Ospreay, I mean, I don't know where I put my shirt. Oh, here it is. So, he is extremely loyal to NJPW because when nobody else would pick him up, they did. And I've heard him say it multiple times how, like, the WWE didn't want me and this company didn't want me, and this was all before AEW existed, though. But he is extremely loyal to them. So if he were to ever come over to AEW like full time, I think he would still be splitting his time between the two. Because he's super loyal to them, and he's a massive star over there too, like massive.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so that's what we have for next week. It's going to be a really good week of AEW action.
Yeah, I can't wait for that hair versus hair match. Jericho is 2-0 in his career in hair matches. So I think it's time for Jericho to lose a hair match. And I actually saw somebody who did a Photoshop job of Jericho being bald, and he actually looks like an evil supervillain from a movie. It looks perfect. I think it would actually work really well.
Well, I think they're gonna do the Voldemort thing.
Yeah.
Where he's Voldemort.
Yep. It's gonna be great.
Can't wait.
All right. Any more questions for us in chat before we start to get out of here tonight?
I think we're good. Do you see anything?
I think Big T says Page versus Okada at Forbidden Door. He would be shocked to see Hangman go over. So would I. That's one of the reasons I would like to see it happen. It's believable that Hangman could beat Okada. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be a shock to see that Hangman defeated him, but it would be definitely a shock to see him win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So it would be crazy for Hangman to win, and I don't expect it, but man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, that looks like that's it for tonight. Rome, go ahead and close us out.
Sure. Well, this has been episode 43 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like or subscribe or a follow, depending on where you find us. Thank you for listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Tables Show or on Facebook and Instagram at The Broken Tables Podcast. We go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and even pay-per-views. Just a reminder again that Forbidden Door is coming soon, June 26th. And at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, there's going to be some titles on the line, including my own. Forrest, I'm half expecting you to chicken out. I don't even like, you're here tonight. Like, you're building up all this confidence, and I really appreciate that. But like, do you even know like who's going to be on the, like, you're gonna come so unprepared for this. You're gonna be like, I don't even know who's wrestling on the card. Is John Cena on the card? Like, no, Forrest. John Cena's not on the card.
Okay, first of all, my knowledge is not that bad. Second of all, I am definitely going to show up and be like, who's wrestling? Third of all, for the predictions, I will win. And that will make it so much worse when I beat you.
You will try.
I will make it worse.
I'm going to literally be like, wait, who's on the card? And then win.
Well, I'm sure that, like, you're going to try your best to, like, weasel your way out of it and cheat. Like, that's just what you do. Because don't forget, at Double or Nothing, you made a bet
Uh-huh.
and you lost. Like that's the thing, right? That's where like I just don't
I
understand. Like,
won actually in pure predictions. I
but that's not
tied
how.
you in pure predictions. And no. I actually beat you in pure predictions, but because of the bet, I tied you. Then that night, you decided for champion's advantage.
This is all
Well,
true.
First
Champions
time ever.
Advantage is a
This
thing.
is all true.
This is not anything that I've created. This is something that's always been a thing in pro wrestling. You know, that'd be like if we were actually having a wrestling match and I was defending
I
my
don't know.
world
That sounds
title,
like a WWE thing.
This is true
and
as
you
well.
you jumped out. Like, first
we
of all,
got him with
okay,
that one.
I keep people sports entertained first and foremost. Okay,
You're a
So,
wizard.
I am a wizard. I'm the wizard of predictions. I'm in the lab. I'm cooking up some hot predictions, and man, you're not going to be able to see it coming. You know, it's going to be rough for you. And just so you know, when all is said and done, I will let you shake my hand.
Oh my god.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us tonight. You guys all have a great night. Top Guys out.